What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of LaVar Walker Daily Show Podcast. Thank you again, all of you, for tuning in, like straight from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in. Wishing you nothing but blessings and a blessed day, and wishing nothing but the best and total success to each and every one of you and everybody to tune in. So I'm gonna start this off, man. Got to check out the Chris Rock, Kevin Hart Netflix documentary. They did a Netflix documentary which showed pretty much behind the scenes of Chris and Kevin Hart touring together. Last year, I believe it was. I think they did about 6 dates together, and they closed it out at Madison Square Garden. Um, this was a really dope documentary. First and foremost, just me as a comedian, number one, and then as a comedian that happens to be a black male, it was good to see both of them come together and share, like their abilities of what they do. And then in that, spoiler alert, Dave Chappelle made an appearance. Now, this isn't a comedy documentary. This is just a documentary about the history of both of these comedians and, just a little bit of narration or what have you. And they came together in this documentary just to show that, for a long, long period of time, the industry had it so it's just one black comedian at a time, starting from, Dick Gregory to Bill Cosby to Richard Pryor to Eddie Murphy to Chris Rock to, Cat Williams. Like, there was only one big comic, big black comic at a time. There was never more than one. So they came together to, primarily break that stereotype and to show that comedy does not have to be famine mentality, and they could do a tour together. Okay. So they came together, they did the tour, closed it out in Madison Square Garden, and Dave Chappelle came out. They handed Chris Rock a goat and gave him his praise, which I really commend them for it. And watching this special, which is very dear to my heart, as being out here grinding as a stand-up comedian for so many years, and even only being full time as a comedian now for about 3 years, but I've been doing it probably about 20 working jobs and shit like that. What was most so interesting to me about this particular piece of work, and what was also painful, was that looking at these brothers being, to me, like on the Mount Rushmore of comedy, because very few comedians make it to that garden to sell out, no matter what color you are. And then even though they're black, they have really big fan, because to sell the amount of tickets, you can't just sell to one specific group, like to sell all them tickets. Like, I guess the Kings of Comedy did a good job in it, but these guys have like true international, worldwide fan bases in Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, as well as Chris Rock. And to say the least, it was great. But what was a little bit painful about it for me was looking at all three of them. I think they are the last of a group of comics that we'll ever see where. And what I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. I believe the internet has disrupted every type of genre, from music to comedy to television to movies. And these guys are from a period kind of pre-internet. And Kevin was able to use the internet to, still catapult his success. But I don't think we will see like just one big comedian. Now, as far as the internet is concerned, I applaud the internet. I applaud social media. I applaud these platforms because without these platforms, I'm not able to come on here and talk to my fan base or talk to anybody that wants to listen to me. So definitely this digital environment that we're in, this technologically advanced environment that we're in right now, has essentially removed all gatekeepers, which is a great thing because basically this is a very low barrier to entry. Everybody can do this. You want to do a podcast, you want to do some kind, whatever you want to do, you could primarily do it if you have the love, the passion, and the desire to really make that happen. And it's not as hard as it was for, like, say, pre-internet when I'm trying to come up and I got to go to cattle calls. I got to go try to jump on the radio. I got to go talk to any and everybody. Motherfuckers holding out on auditions. They not giving you the information. Well, now there's no greater time than to just put your hands in the mud and build it for yourself. Now, in saying that, I'm saying that to say that that's the good part of the internet, but the bad part of it, as far as comedy is concerned, which is my genre, um, I don't believe comedians can necessarily develop in these times. So I don't think we're gonna see like another Dave, Kevin, or Chris Rock. I think you're gonna see 1,000 Daves, 1,000 Kevins, and 1,000 Chris Rocks. Now, what I'm saying by that, you're gonna see them because with the internet, it's whatever your perception is of the person that you like. Because comedy is very, very subjective. So if your perception is that this guy that I might not know is the biggest comedian in the world to you, then he is. So we'll end up seeing more and more people enter these platforms. More and more people are selling tape, which is happening now. From the internet, from the success of the internet, digital media, you got guys that you probably have never heard of that are actively selling out theaters. They're selling out comedy clubs. These guys are literally moving tickets. Now, I'm saying that to say because being a comedian takes time. This is not a sport of look, bro, it takes time. Like you have so much shit that you have to go through. And each level of you going through shit makes you a stronger comic. It gives you a stronger foundation. Now, unfortunately, with this digital age, a lot of these guys are not able to develop, which is no fault of their own. And the reason they're not able to develop is because they're not coming out of relative obscurity. They're coming, a lot of guys are able to sell tickets. No knock. If you selling your tickets, you're winning. Trust me. I'm a very much so bottom of the line guy. I'm objective. Like if you're funny to somebody, hey, you do you. Okay? Like I'm happy and proud of you. Cause I don't want any internet comedian to see this shit and think I'm taking any type of dig. So, but what I am saying is when you look at Dave and you look at Rock and you look at Chappelle, they came up a different type of way. But they had tremendous cattle calls they had to go through, like I did. A lot of cattle calls, a lot of shows getting canceled, a lot of television movie projects failing, a lot of them trudging along and literally finding their voice and grinding it out from club to club. That no longer exists because hell, if you got a guy with a few million followers and he putting asses in the seats, it makes sense for the bottom line. So with, like greed and people want to sell tickets, you just want to put this is just what it is. So I'm saying that to say that you won't just see that one Kevin Hart, you won't just see that one Dave Chappelle, that one Chris Rock. You're gonna see thousands of them. This is where the game is going. Anybody goes viral, boom, few times you in theaters, you're doing your thing. I do think like comedy will suffer because then too a lot of times when people had these big followings, a lot of them aren't even comedy fans. They're just fans of the person, which is Nothing wrong with that. They're fans of the person. They want to come see that person. And the objective is, yo, I need to get a picture with said person, which is great. If you're selling tickets, you're selling merch, and you have a successful and profitable business, kudos to you. And then the question was also asked, is this causing comedy to suffer? I don't necessarily think that the internet will cause comedy to suffer. Um, I just think that a lot of the comedians now are just going to have to adapt to this shit and learn ways in which they can be content creators as well as, going on stage to tell the jokes. So, this is the game. Everything is disrupted. Technology has disrupted everything. There's nothing that won't be touched by technology. And this is where we're at right now. And listening to Chris and Kevin, and they were offering advice. However, I don't think any of the advice they were offering applies to comedians in 2023 and going forward. I think it is imperative that comedians build their own fan base and, do content, create, do what you can do, right? Because if you can't sell a ticket and you the funniest guy in the world, nobody cares. It's almost like that analogy of if a tree falls in the wood and nobody's there to hear it, did it really make a sound? So you got to get on board. I'm saying that to say the comedy game has changed, technology is moving forward, and this is where we're at right now. And that was a great era and a great time in which they came up in. They put the work in, came through the ranks, and I wish it would go back to that, but it's not. It's not. You get an asshole like me that can come make videos, put this shit out, tell people to call them, people show up to show. This is where we're at right now. But kudos to Kevin and Chris Rock. It was an amazing Netflix documentary. So make sure you guys go check that out. Moving right along, the Takeoff, who was a member of the Migos, as y'all know, Takeoff passed, um, which was rather unfortunate. Um, so he has an accuser of a sexual assault accuser. Now, this man unfortunately has moved on. Like he has transitioned. He's no longer with us. And now there's a woman who wants his mom to stand trial because he has died. Now, when it comes to any type of sexual assault or any accusations of sexual assault, listen, my hats go off to the victim, whoever you may be. I'm not doing any type of victim blaming. But when it comes to the victim seeking damages and some type of compensation from a dead man, that's where we have to differ. Now, understand what I'm telling you. If you are a victim of sexual assault and you've proven this, and we as the state or we as the people go, great, we had this information, we will kill your sexual assault victim. And we're terribly sorry this happened to you, but he's going to pay for it with his life, with his actual fucking life. He has to go. Now, if I tell you that and you go, wait, no. I don't want to kill him. I just need his money to heal. Now I have to raise an eyebrow. This is a sick fucking attempt. And ma'am, I don't know who you are. I don't know what happened. But give me a fucking break. The man has passed. He's gone. And I'm not saying he did anything. I'm not saying he didn't. But he's gone. What do you want? How sick and fucking selfish can you be to get this young man's mother to want to stand trial? How shitty are your lawyers? Do you have a heart? Are you sick? What is wrong with people? So his life is gone. So it's not enough to take the life of your accuser. You want the fucking money. That is sick. That's some sick shit. Now, I can see you alive. You won't get your segment. Cool. He's gone. He's gone. How do you, I mean, how does the money heal you at this point? He went out a very horrific way. How does the money heal you if that happened? How? How? I guess it heals your lawyers. I guess it heals the household, but that is some sick shit. And I hope that whoever the judge is on this case or the jury, I hope they just take a big baseball bat and swat that shit to the rafters, bitch, because you are fucking loony and lost. And you need to seek mental health counseling. You like, I don't get it. Like, you want to, like, who are you suing? The dead? His mom? You want to take whatever he left? Like, what are we talking about here? For real. And I you know, I might be looked at in a different light as this, but when you go to take a dead man to trial, like the people trying to take Michael Jackson back to court, where they got to send, what do you do? Send a paralegal to the cemetery to wake his ass up? Say, come on, let's go. You can come to court dead. Like, it's just sad. It's horrific. And that's just a very, very sad part of human behavior. And as I said, I don't know if this happened or if it did not happen, but that is where we're at. So, and then let me try to look this up. Takeoff. Let's see here. I wanna read this. Let's see. I wanna read this to y'all. It's very, very sad. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go over this here. Takeoff sexual assault accuser wants late rapper's mother listed as substitute defendant. Unreal. Takeoff's legal process might not be over just because he's no longer alive. This is a sick fucking system we're in. According to mynewsla.com, a lawsuit brought against the late Migos rapper for assault in August 2020 may continue despite the fact that the rapper uh, was deleted in November 2022. The publication is reporting that the plaintiff in the suit is seeking to have Takeoff's mother take her son's place as the defendant. You want his mama to come, like, that is sick to me. And I'm being judgmental. I don't care. Like, a publication reporting that the plaintiff in the suit is seeking to have Takeoff's mother take her son's place as defendant. The rapper's mother, Titiana Davenport, is the acting administrator of rapper's estate, which is currently in probate proceedings. So it's just all about money. The plaintiff, currently identified as Jane Doe, claimed in her suit that this occurred in 2020 at a party in Encino, saying the man stalked her during the party and followed her into a bedroom. Oh, God. She is currently suing the owners of Houston Bowling Alley. Davenport filed a wrongful death suit. Okay. So this is mom is suing, and then I guess this woman wants to come in and take whatever's left. I mean, my God, this is just, to me, it's just sick. And I'm not in agreement with it based on the fact that the ban has expired. So it's just it's rather I just don't know what to say to that. So I'm gonna move right along. Divorced couples are still living together due to the housing market and high interest rates. That was interesting. That's how bad. That's how high interest rates are right now. That you got divorced couples still living together because they can't afford to leave. So a difficult. Let me see here. Look at that. Difficult housing market forces divorced couple to live together. Feels like the impossible. One divorce coach advises estranged couples to do chores separately, even if they live together. Some divorced couples are being forced to live together in a difficult housing market that makes finding another place to live harder than it has been in years. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. Many don't tell colleagues about the setup because it seems unthinkable or they are embarrassed. They try to maintain civility for the kids and hold tight till they can afford to buy, rent, and furnish two homes. Instead, they are divorced and saddled with a house that is falling value that neither can afford on their own. It's currently worth less than we paid for, so we are forced to short sale. Yeah, so that's very unfortunate. So capitalism, high interest rates, and all this has caused people to be unable to get a divorce. So I guess based off the money and the system we in, I guess people got to sit in the house and try to figure that shit out. Like I don't know how long anybody could be stuck, and that means stuck. That means y'all asses are stuck. You can't leave. Like, who is bringing over a boyfriend? Who's bringing over a girlfriend? You got to sit in that house and listen to that. All right? You got to hear that noise, that hollering, that screaming, and that goes for the man or the woman, which is somewhat horrific. So I guess maybe, hopefully, maybe this housing crisis and these high interest rates have saved some marriages. Who knows? But that's a rough pill to swallow. Your ass got to go sleep in that basement with that dog as a man. That woman don't want to have nothing to do with you no more. And lady, you got to go sleep wherever you can. It's just that's a horrific experience, and that shows us how debt makes us do things we don't want to do, but we have to for the sake of neither one of y'all being homeless. But some people, they'll just be like, fuck this shit. I go live in the tent under a bridge. I'm not putting up with this bitch. I'm out of here. Tent it is. You could add the money, but I don't know what to do. But I gotta get out of here. So that's just a little something. Uh, Also, too, old school gangster rappers are turning into Wendy Williams. So I saw this post. I saw this post on Jasmine, the the Jasmine brand, something like that, and I couldn't agree more. So I did my own take on it, and my take was that watching old gangster rappers turn into gossipers is amazing because that's what's happening right now. Every street nigga, all these niggas that was hardcore killing in their music and their songs, telling you not to snitch, kicking you in your ass in the community, robbing, pillaging, promoting hyper masculinity, hypersexuality, promoting criminality. Now, a lot of these brothers are podcasters. I'm not calling out any names because I'm a square and I don't want heat on my ass because I'm a law abiding citizen who calls the police. So I made this statement. I made the statement, and a friend of mine on Instagram had commented on it, and he is, just talking about being tough and I did this video just how I'm doing it to y'all. I said this. So somebody on my Instagram, y'all can follow me on Instagram at LaVar Walker. But I made this statement and I'm gonna go over what this guy said to me. He said, nigga, you talking about people right now, fool, you old and you gossiping. And I said, true, but I'm a square comedian, not a tough, used to be gangster that rapped back in the day. Okay. Cause you got to be nice on here. I can't, with a lot of people, we can't come back at y'all. If you got like a high following count, you can't just come back and go for the juggler. You're going to get flagged and banned. So he tells me LaVar gossiping is gossiping, fool. Don't matter if you're a comedian, a rapper, a sucker is a sucker. No material, I guess he was trying to say, no matter your occupation. Now, if you say it in his face, which you want, that's different. And so I asked, say what in whose face? I'm speaking in general. The whole reason, and this was the whole reason of my post, was to call out the obvious hypocrisy in street culture and to let a lot of brothers know, listen, we've all been sold a bag of goods. There's no honor amongst thieves. And this entire street code that a lot of us who weren't even in the streets abide by has only harmed and it's done nothing but harm, brought nothing but harm and grief to the community, and we celebrate criminality. So that's why I always go in on that shit. So I asked him, I said, yo, who is the guy you talking about? I'm speaking in general. So the guy goes on to say, let me see. Guess he broke this shit up. So the guy goes on to say, where did he break this? Oh, he says comedians kick ass too, you should know. And I guess he was referring to the thing with me and Mike Epps. And I said comedians call the police and sue, which is what I did. That was the route I took. And he says that's what whole niggas do. Congratulations. And I say, not true. That's what grown, intelligent black men with doctorate degrees do. We different. Then he goes, they still harm you. And I go, sure they will. Then break down crying in that courtroom and want to talk about how they love the Lord when the sentence hits. Brother just totally let me down. And I'm going to give him a call after I do this. But we can, as grown men, as leaders in our community, we can't continue to somehow proliferate and push this street culture narrative on our people to celebrate that shit. You can't. It's over. It's over, man. Don't nobody give a fuck. Everybody's just trying to get some money. And even when I point out the gangster rappers, most rappers are just rappers, just entertainers. But we all, as black people, this media, this entertainment, it really has a big impression on us. So I'm only pointing out the hypocrisies. But for this nigga to be this old, still advocating somehow for tough street niggas, it's sickening to me. It's sickening. It's sickening. And if anybody disagrees with my stance on it and you want to call me a name or a coon or dismiss what I'm saying, you are one of the biggest problems in the black community. It's just what it is, man. It's what it is. You want me to do all this shit and abide by your shit, but when two of the white folks roll up on you or some shit, you respectful, you about the Lord, but you want to kick me in my black ass. No, it don't work like that. It don't. You gonna respect me how you do them. And so I look at a lot of that gangster street shit as a lot of motherfuckers is just at this point, I'm damn near 50 years old. It's just like, bro, you're treasonous to your own community. You're a cancer. I know you grew up poor. I did too. I did too. You was in a fucked up community. Me too. Yep. Yeah. We all these black people behind me, just all of us. Yeah. We all. Yeah. We know. We know. It's all about decisions though. So your excuse becomes very weak and watered the fuck down. And if you want to admit to just being a weak human with no morals, no values, just be that. Just be that. But to claim your blackness in this shit is sick. It's disgusting. So, well, I'm gonna move on. In the news today, Atlanta has proposed to ban. This is a proposal in Atlanta. They want to ban these poo shiesty masks. I'm gonna show y'all this. Atlanta Council. So the Atlanta Council was trying to ban ski masks. They doing it in Philly. They're doing it and they wanted to get this in Atlanta. So an Atlanta councilman had proposed a ban on ski masks and hoodies. Now the thing to me is this. I spoke on this and I just find it rather ironic. A couple of years ago, you couldn't walk outside in the city of Atlanta without your mask. They want to send your ass to jail. You can't go into the store. But now you want to reverse that and ban the mask. And to me, this is just a huge display of abuse of power, right? Because you just say what it is. You don't want young black men wearing the mask. That's a threat. Like if I don't wear if I'm gonna rob a liquor store, okay, I could go to a different mask. It's almost like saying this particular mask right here, when blacks place the mask on, they rob and shoot. I placed this on a black guy. He went irate. We must ban the mask. Like, that does absolutely nothing. Somebody put a do-rag over their face, anything. They put a pillowcase on the rob. That's not going to do nothing. So, an Atlanta City Council has proposed a ban on ski masks in hoods, bro, saying the bill will hinder crime. Some civil rights activists believe the ban could lead to racial profiling. Now, the person that proposed this bill was a black man, a young black man. So Audrey Washington was at Atlanta City Hall where Antonio Lewis said he got too many complaints about people committing crimes while wearing ski masks, so he wanted to do something about it. The ban would be for people who have their hoodies on that cover up everything but their eyes. So what about Muslim people? They have a hoodie on and a mask. Georgia already has laws preventing masks worn on public private property without written consent, but Lewis said legislating relaxed during COVID when people had to wear a mask. He said that too often those committing crime with masks, so he believes were enforced. Dude, this is just a dumbass law. If y'all want to make a law to protect the people, increase penalties for crimes, okay? Automatic 30 years for carjacking. That's going to stop carjacking. You want to stop robbery, automatic 40 years, whatever. You have to increase the penalty. Of course, we can already legally carry in Georgia. So instead of taking freedoms away from citizens, because none of this has any type of, there are no real solutions, only trade-offs. So you don't want people wearing a mask. They're going to rob with something else. They put a rubber silicone suit on. They don't give a damn. So increase the penalties, hold people accountable. That's that. And I'm out of here. So guys, this has been a great show. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. And y'all can check me out tomorrow. It's going to be another episode of the LaVar Walker Daily Show podcast. That's it for me. Good night and God bless. I hope to see you soon. Take care.